What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and today we're going to go over the tackle acquisition of Sam Tevi from the Chargers. Appreciate everyone being here, and we'll get right into this right after this.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
Hey guys, appreciate everyone being here. Dylan Green, Jamie Miller, Justin Whitmer, appreciate you guys being here on the show as I do this live a little bit differently than I normally do. I normally don't do these film rooms live. I got 4 clips that I'm going to go over. 2 of those are positives, 2 of them are negatives, and then I'll give you my reaction to what I saw. These are all against the best player that he played against all season. All right. Now, they didn't go up against great pass rushers last year. The best guy that I think he went up against on a consistent basis was Carl Lawson. So this will be against the Cincinnati Bengals, all 4 clips. Please don't forget, if you enjoy this, please hit the like button and subscribe. Don't forget to tag that notification bell so that you're notified next time I go live or upload a video. Hey, and just real quick, just to let you know, obviously, all super chats are welcome. However, there's a link to the description of this video down here to my Streamlabs. If you decide you want to make a donation on a larger scale than, your typical $2 to $5 or something, feel free to use that to make that donation. You may not get the shout out on this stream, but you will definitely get it on the next. I get more of a percentage on Streamlabs when it comes to those kind of donations rather than with the YouTube stuff. YouTube's like 30%. It's awful. But hey, appreciate everybody being here. Now, let's get into Sam Tevi. All right. Sam Tevi is an interesting person. Let's flip it over here. And we'll go over to this side. There we are. So what we got, you see him standing up right here on the outside, and this is a run play. And what I love about seeing him against the run is he is a very aggressive blocker, okay, in the run game. Even when the run isn't coming towards him, this run is actually going more to the right side of the center rather than his side, and yet he goes out of his way to get a block in. So let's watch this play. Keep an eye on him as he actually has to leapfrog his own guy in order to get a block in. That is absolutely amazing. Watch how he's right here. He actually had to leapfrog him because the guy went down low for the block. And because he had to leapfrog, he wasn't able to get to the guy he was wanting to block. Okay? Here he is right here. There he goes to jump, and so he goes down low. There was no way he was going to get this block on this linebacker in time to seal him off before the running back got here. So he laid his body out on the line to stop that linebacker. And if you watch, the linebacker's not able to make a play on it. The other one had to. That is an amazing situation on this play. This is very good when it comes to just individual effort, trying to find a way to help in this run game to get him to go. Now, granted, he could have blocked 57, but the running back was supposed to go out here towards 56. So that legitimately is actually a good decision on his part to make that block on this linebacker. So it was a very good block by Sam Tevi here. I am very, very impressed. He gets out there quick. Good block. Puts his body on the line, like I said. Very, very awesome. Harrison Height, appreciate you being here. Ant Rogers, Nomadic Brian, all of you guys, thank you so much for being here. Now I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this and bring up my next video, which is more in line of pass blocking. Now, there's a lot to be said about Sam Tevi when it comes to pass blocking. He is not necessarily an overly powerful blocker, okay? He's not got a lot of great upper body strength. So what he has to use is a lot of, his own technique. He's got to use technique in order to make blocks. He has to use his feet. His feet move very, very well. What's up, Toxic Tommy? Appreciate you. The problem is his technique, because he's not powerful, can put him in a bad situation. But against here, you're going to see Carl Lawson use a speed to power bull rush on him. And he does a good job of basically absorbing this. Bam! Absorbs it and keeps him, pushes him outside. When he gets near the inside, he actually leans in and pushes the pass rush outside. Why? Well, obviously, you don't want him to pass rush inside. Inside is a bad situation to let him go through. So he does a good job using his feet and his hands in order to absorb the bull rush. That never, ever even gets close to Tyrod Taylor, who, by the way, was the quarterback at this point. But still, very good job on a bull rush for someone who was noted not to have that high a strength, right? So I'm okay with him when it comes to the bull rush. Now, another thing is, that's what he sets up for on a regular basis. A bull rush or an outside speed rush. That's what he sets up for, and he's very good against both. He's got very good footwork. He's got very good arms. He places his hands properly. He does a good job on the bull rush or the outside. Now we're going to get into some of the things that he doesn't do very well. All right, let me go get the other one. Because he has to set up against the speed and the outside. He doesn't have a lot of power. He has to prepare himself with how his technique works in order to do that, push to the outside or prepare for that bull rush. But in doing so, it sets him up badly for inside moves, especially a spin, okay? Because he's prepared to get someone outside and prepared for that hardcore bull rush. Carl Lawson here eats him alive on this inside spin move. Forces Taylor outside. Forces him outside to make a quick pass. That's a problem. Now, if he was a little bit stronger, he wouldn't have to worry about moving his feet and his hands nearly as much and be able to, push, bang with his hands early on. A little bit of power actually helps against these kind of moves right here. But because he doesn't have that pop right at the front, and he has to use his legs and quick hands in order to absorb bull rushes and speed rushes, he's susceptible to that inside spin move. Now, it's also the swim move is also something that works against him, not nearly as well as the spin move, though. So it's these really athletic guys that can change direction on him that can take advantage of that. Guys like TJ Watt, guys like Carl Lawson, Yannick Ngakoue, and obviously the Bosa's and stuff like that. Guys that are just really, really athletic and quick can take advantage of him. Now, that is one issue that I have with Tevi. Rollins says Tevi is bad. Big reason Phillip Rivers had such a poor season with the Chargers. Tevi could be a decent backup for a play or two, but not the whole game. Now, I'll give you my assumption on him later on. Like I said, he's got good qualities. Let's move on to the final clip that I want to go over because, wow. This is an issue. Hold on. Was that the play that I was looking at? That's not the play I was looking at. Yes, it is. I'm sorry. Look at how he gets turned around big time in this play. Here's 69. That's Tevi. What's he doing? He gets caught glued to the pass rusher as he runs a complete long stunt and takes himself completely out of position in case another player comes in on his hole. The only guy that's left there literally is the running back filling his hole. The running back. You can't allow that. Tevi is right here. He ain't got nowhere to, completely out of position. The other side of the center. He has to realize he's got to hold his position. He can't be caught out of position. Once that pass rusher goes past that guard, or, once the pass rusher gets past the guard, you can't sit here and let him, you let him go. You don't sit there and follow him because now he's sitting here not knowing what to do. Look, he ain't doing nothing right now. He ain't blocking. He's even facing the wrong way. He's looking at Tyrod Taylor. What in the world? Guys, hold on just a second. There's somebody outside knocking on the door. Kim, could you answer the door, please? Yes. Nomadic Brian asks, is this the defensive end that we wanted? That is Carl Lawson. That's a guy that a lot of people wanted this season for the Colts that signed elsewhere. So, yeah, this is not a good look for him at all. He's got to learn. He's got to learn not to follow. Right here, he needs to just let it go and then hold his spot. And that's not a good situation for him at all. So in my opinion, on Sam Tevi, it's kind of similar to what Roland Santos says, okay? Fact of the matter is, Sam Tevi could be a very good backup, okay? Left or right side, I think he'd be fine backup. I think he could be a starter if he had a very solid left guard beside him. Now, obviously, the Colts have that, right? Someone that can be there to kind of help on the inside pass rush moves. Since the Colts have Quentin Nelson, he can help in that situation. I would not want him long-term starting for the Colts. I'd much rather find somebody else. Whitmer says, did we just sign Julian Davenport? No. The rumor is that the Colts are expected to sign him, but they haven't done it yet. Sam asks, is that a green screen or is that a man cave? Okay, this is a man cave, but it's not mine. It is a green screen. My house burnt down about 5-6 years ago, and I lost all of my Colts memorabilia. And a follower of mine came in and sent me some high-def HD pictures of his man cave, so I'm using it. So just to let you know. Train him on his weak areas. and use as a backup. That is true. See, I still like him much better than the backups we had last year. Okay. Between Green and between Clark, he is still much better because he does have very strong areas that he uses. He's still very strong against the outside pass rush. He's still very strong against bull rushes. He just needs help on the inside on athletic pass rushers. He also needs to learn to hold his spot. He can't allow himself to leave a blocking area and end up on the other side of the line, right? That's just not good. I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind it, but I love covering teams. I love the Indianapolis Colts. Hey, bring Ty home, right? You know, tomorrow we got Sammy Watkins coming in for a visit. So keep an eye on that. That could be a situation. Will Holden and Sam Tevi is a very good backup tackle room. I think so. I think they'd be okay as the backups. I just don't see them being either one of them starters. Seth makes a big point. Very athletic to get to the second level. Yes, in the run game, he is very good at getting to this. I think he's a better run blocker than Anthony Costanzo. Costanzo was a stronger guy, but I think Tevi has the athleticism and the speed to get to that second level, to get to the linebackers and the safeties. Even as the first clip I showed you, he could get in there and do a lot of that stuff. He's going to be a help in the run game, more so than in the pass game, I think. I don't want Sammy Watkins as the number one. I wouldn't mind having Sammy if he's not more than $7 million a year. And as long as we have, we get T.Y. Hilton with Sammy Watkins, that would put Sammy Watkins and Paris Campbell in a very similar situation. Okay. And I think they're both very quick speedsters. Both of them have injury issues. So there's kind of a backup for one or the other. I don't have any problem with that, as long as he don't cost too much money. Okay. What's going on, Alpha? That's okay, man. I understand you're late. You can check out the film clips that I explained with earlier before I do that. After the stream's over with. Sam says Colts won't sign Watkins. Every time they have ever brought someone in, they haven't signed them. Plus, Watkins will want more money than Ballard's definitely won't be able to pay. I get that. I think so too. But Watkins played last year for like $1 million, and that was it, right? For the Chiefs. So, and he really helped because he had the speed to go with Hill. I think if we re-sign T.Y. Hilton for $6-7 million and then get Sammy Watkins for similar or maybe just a hair less, I would not have an issue with it at all. I wouldn't. But that's just my opinion. Do I think Sammy's a number one? No, by no means. But I think he could be a very useful tool. That's just my thought. Whitmer says, who's the best left tackle in free agency at the moment? Ooh, that's a good question. Let me go look that up. I don't know who's all available left. NFL free agent. Let's get in here. Well, don't sign in Alejandro Villanueva. I hate him. He has slowly fell off a cliff over the past 2 seasons. Just saying. I don't want Jason Peters either. At 39, he was not very good with Philadelphia over the last couple seasons as well. Obviously, Julian Davenport's being looked at. Russell Okung could be a guy. I mean, he's 33 years old. Him and Eric Fisher are probably the two best left. But if we got Eric Fisher, he won't be ready when the season starts. We would have to sign. We would have to use either a rookie or one of our backups until he's back from injury, because he will not be ready. That's just my thought. But if we sign like a second round tackle, let's say we get a first round tackle. Let's say we use our 21st pick for a tackle, okay? Then I really wouldn't worry about getting a guy like Eric Fisher. Or I would get an Eric Fisher because, even then, maybe not. Because he's probably, a first round tackle is going to start the whole season. And you're going to expect the backups there. I'd be okay with that. Now, we got a second round tackle and used our first round pick for, say, a pass rusher. That's when an Eric Fisher or a Russell Okung should come in. That way you can let your second round guy possibly develop a little bit more, get up to the NFL speed. That's my thought. That's just my opinion. Hey guys, I'm going to be on the All Eyes on Cleveland podcast here, in an hour and a half, talking about Anthony Walker Jr. and the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. So make sure you check that out. I tweeted it out on Twitter. So, the link to the YouTube stream will be there. Alpha, did we talk about our staff at the Alabama Pro Day? No, we haven't yet. And of course they're going to be there. Every team in the NFL is going to be at Alabama. Come on. I mean, that's just obvious. Whitmer, I don't think Fisher will be signed this offseason. I think he will, to a team that's prepared to let him sit for a while. Okay? Have we signed anyone today? FaZe asks. Not yet. We're expecting Davenport to be signed, but it hasn't been announced yet. Just to let you know. Yes, Isaiah McKenzie at 1.15 mil is very, 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 very cheap. Very cheap. I agree. But, so it really depends, in my opinion, where they go in the draft for a left tackle is depending upon if they get a guy like Okung or Fisher. Okay? If they get Okung or Fisher, then they'll probably draft a tackle in the second round because, he'll be good enough to come in and play if he needs to. And then we got backups with Tevi. I wouldn't mind having Tevi start for a couple games, in replace of like Okung or someone like that until Tevi, for Tevi to play those games, or even, Holden or whatnot, a couple games, especially Tevi, because like I said, he needs help on the inside, gets the guard position, and Quentin Nelson is that guy, I think. So I wouldn't have a problem with that. The problem I have is if we don't sign an Okung or a Fisher, that's when I think we go left tackle at 21. And then we end up going pass rusher somewhere else. Coming on strong says we need a pass rusher. Well, I mean, Justin Houston's still out there. There's still a couple pass rushers available. And there are 4 premier pass rushers in this draft. If one of them fall to 21, I expect the Colts to grab him because the drop off after those 4 is huge. I don't think after those 4, there's not a first rounder anywhere in the draft. I think the fall off drops to 3rd, and the Colts don't even have a 3rd round pick. That's a situation where the Colts may even trade back if one of the top 4 pass rushers ain't there at 21. That's just my thought process. See, everyone is a lot of people are talking about that, but like I said, if there is a blue chip premier player at 21, you have to grab him. Okay? Especially if it's at a position of need for the Colts. That's the thing. We still have the 1st and 2nd round pick. Obviously, we don't have a 3rd. It's possible we could get a 3rd with a trade back if a premier guy ain't there, but Let me look here. Yes, Carlos Dunlap, who's 32 years old, by the way, is still a free agent. Larry Brown speaks up. But he's 32. Do we want Dunlap or do we want Houston? We know what we're getting from Houston. We know he plays pretty decent in our scheme. We don't know what we'd be getting with Carlos Dunlap. Okay? That's the only issue I have. Roland Santos says blue chip drafting got us big boy Jonathan. Yeah, and we traded up to get him. I think we moved up 3 spots in the 2nd round to make sure we got Jonathan Taylor. So, yes, that's exact. If there is a guy that falls and is a blue chip and you have an opportunity to get him, you go get him. Especially at a position of need. Taylor wasn't even a position of need at the time. He ended up being because who knew that Marlon Mack was going to tear his Achilles? But Ballard and Reich were hardcore on him, and he fell, and there you go. We don't have the 3rd round pick this year because that went for Carson Wentz, and currently we don't have next year's 2nd round pick. It will probably be a 1st if Wentz plays well, but we have our 1st, 2nd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. I could see him trading back in the 2nd round if he ends up using his 1st round pick for a tackle. I could see him trading back in the 2nd round because there's not, unless he uses it for a corner, that's a possibility too. Daryl Green asks about the top 4 premier pass rushers. Hold on. I know who my number 1 and number 2 is, which is a little out of sync with a lot of people. But because I think Jalen Phillips, I believe Jalen Phillips has the highest ceiling of any pass rusher currently. Even Gregory. All right. Now I put his counterpart, Greg, who also wore 15 before Phillips went there at number 2. Now, Kwity Paye, obviously, he's solid as well. But Carlos Basham, I have at number 4 over Jason Awai at Penn State. Now, he's not as fast, but he's got that size to go with him to be able to hold his own on the edge. All right. And that's why I like him. But in me, Jalen Phillips, He's a TJ Watt type guy. He really is. A lot of you, like I said before, him and Greg are actually very closely. They're very close with each other. They're very, very similar players. Why don't you think the Colts didn't match Autry offer? He is mad. Yes, I understand that. Thanks for the donation, by the way, the super chat. Appreciate it, Ant. Yeah, I get that he's mad. I understand that he's mad. He came here 3 years. He played on a $6 million a year contract. I think the Colts just wanted to get younger at the position. They had 3 guys. They've got 3 young second-round picks at pass rusher. I think they're going to try to find out which one is going to take over that position at the right defensive end, at DE2. And I think that's why they didn't do that. That's why they didn't re-sign Autry, because they got 3 youngsters they want to come in and try to take over that position. Yes, those are my top 3. In that order, actually, Ant. Whitmer says, I don't think we go cornerback too early. The cornerback depth it ain't too shabby. It's possible. But 4th round, because we don't have a 3rd unless we trade back on the 1st. That's the question, right? That's just my opinion. Greg seems like a 3-tech. Like Depot, he's got crazy length. Him and Phillips both do. But the thing is they both have really good inside moves. And for an edge rusher, I think that is the thing that would really, really help, especially beside DeForest Buckner. Guys, I understand that this is going to be a short stream because, it was a film room. I don't want people to sit here and say, hey, that's a 1-hour film room. I'm not going to sit and click on that. The film room was only actually about 10, 15 minutes. I have no problem sitting here and answering questions, though, but I need to kill this one. Make sure you go check me out on the All Eyes on Cleveland podcast here on YouTube live in about, an hour and a half? Appreciate you guys being here. Please don't forget, smash the like button. Help with YouTube analytics. I'm about to hit 1,200 subscribers. Huge for me. I have grown dramatically this month. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And again, in the description of this stream, there is multiple places where you could donate to my channel and help me grow, get better stuff, especially like be able to go out and get some film, all 22 film on college guys, be able to do other stuff, increase my software, hardware, things of that nature, if you're into it. Until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. This is Colts Law, and it was Sam Tevi Film Room. He's got some stuff he needs to work on, but I think he'll be fine as a backup. And until next time, have a good one.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.